Do you know Loved by Death? Hi, I'm F.A. Huffman and welcome to my AuthorTube. Welcome to my first video of 2019. I hope your new year has been wonderful. Today I'm going to introduce you to the world in my Wolfsbane Chronicles books. The first book is Loved by Death, which is the only book I have out right now. And this book takes place mainly in Albany and Buffalo, New York. But that's not where my characters originally hail from. And before I dive into this, I just want to let you know that not all of my books will be in the Wolfsbane Chronicles. I'm actually working on one that'll be a young adult book. It's still fantasy, but it's not part of Wolfsbane Chronicles. I just wanted to throw that out there. Alright, in my books, I break all the rules. Well, in my opinion, I break all the rules. I may not. I don't follow all the same rules that have been established for years, centuries, whatever, about supernatural creatures. For the most part, I don't follow any rules about them. They live their lives just like a regular human. They just happen to have special qualities, such as vampires can be out in the sunshine, and they won't burst into flames, and they aren't going to sparkle. Werewolves can control when they change. They're not dictated by the moon. Elves don't have pointy ears unless they want to show that part of themselves. Supernaturals don't have to eat in my book, in my stories and everything, but they can. There's some of them that do use energy, that do use food as energy. They also have natural forms that they hide from humans, which they can control when that natural form comes out. So my main protagonist is Ashley Black. She is the ringleader of the family. She, along with her twin sister Alexis, brother Joe, and best friend Lizbeth, Lizbeth, come from Asheville, North Carolina. She has a lot of personal issues that she has to work through before she's able to really take care of this case that they work on in Loved by Death. There's also some issues that she has to work through before she allows herself to fall in love with Esteban. She is a hybrid of a vampire and wolf, but resonates mainly with the vampire half of herself, which you learn more about in Changing Tides. Then there's Lizbeth O'Connor. She's Ashley's best friend and has been since grade school. She doesn't know anything about Ashley's secret. She is a human. She's grown up with Ashley, but she has no clue about her vampire werewolf nature. She learns about it in this book. She's a fashion designer and is the one that Jeremy goes after to be able to get to Ashley. Then there's Joe Black. He is Ashley's half-brother. He's a full-blooded vampire. He's a drifter by trade and causes more trouble for his sisters than he does helping them. He and Liz have a secret relationship. There's Alexis Christopher. She is Ashley's twin sister and is, and like her sister, is a vampire werewolf hybrid. She is married to David Christopher and has a daughter named Rose. She resonates more with her werewolf side. She lives in Buffalo and runs the FBI supernatural office there. Then we have Esteban Moreno. He's a werewolf that just moved to the U.S. from Argentina. He has a past that most of them are unaware of, and readers won't find out about his past until the second and third books. More is revealed about him. So I'm not going to share anything with you. He and Ashley fall in love pretty much the moment they meet. Ashley fights it. He does not. He is a bomb expert and is amazing at keeping his cool. And he helps Ashley with that too by just touching her. He kind of gives that ability to her. The main antagonist in the book is Jeremy Manos. He is a blast from the past for the Blacks. His parents were big rivals of Ashley's parents. His parents killed Ashley's parents, and Ashley and Joe tracked down his parents and killed them. Now Jeremy is back to get revenge for his parents' death. He is a wizard, and he is able to turn the dead into his army that will do his bidding. Those are the main characters for Loved by Death. The supernaturals and humans live together. I won't say in perfect harmony, because not really. But the humans have no clue about the supernaturals. Select few do. They're allowed to know if somebody tells them. There's not a big, oh, don't let them know kind of secret. But they do try to keep, the supernaturals do try to keep their presence on the down low. There are other secrets about the supernatural world that I am revealing in the second book, Changing Tides, that you'll find out about later on. So I'm going, this is the book, by the way. I'm going to read a few passages. I cannot talk today. I'm going to read a few passages from the book. It might be a bit long, but I picked 3 that I think you'll like, or at least that I like. So bear with me. The first one is chapter 1, first scene, where you meet Ashley. So, January 25th, 2013, 3 p.m. The night air was colder than usual for a July afternoon in New York. Ashley sat at her slate-gray desk, mindlessly twirling the pencil in her fingers. On the wall above her hung her diploma from Yale University. On it, the words Ashley B. and Bachelor's of Political Science gleamed in gold. Above it was her FBI training certificate. She had dreamed of becoming a lawyer, but sometimes plans change. Becoming a Fed hadn't been as big of a deal as she had thought it would be. She didn't have her office decorated like most of the others. Too many things had a tendency to happen here for her to worry about stuff getting broke. On her desk, a laptop, a telephone, a wooden nameplate with Ashley Black FBI SA engraved in gold, and a single picture in a lacy black frame. The picture contained 5 happy, smiling people. In the back stood her parents with their arms wrapped around each other. Her mother's arm was draped over the shoulder of a fair-skinned, freckle-faced teenage girl, her sister Alexis. Her father had his arm draped over the shoulder of a tall, lanky, preteen boy, her brother Joe. Ashley stood in the very front. Being the shortest one in the family, Ashley had become accustomed to standing in the front. 3 large metal filing cabinets stood to her left. 2 shiny black leather seats sat across from her, and a simple fern sat in the corner. A hillbilly of a man lounged in one of the leather seats. A red cap sat cocked sideways on his head as his muddy boots dropped dirt on the clean black carpet. Normally a light breeze would be blowing her long brown curly hair, but she hadn't felt the need to open the window today. She tapped her pencil on her nameplate inside. She rolled her shiny golden eyes up to the black clock on the wall. 3 p.m. She sighed again. "You listening to me?" the hillbilly crowed. She wasn't, but she nodded her head. Mr. Crawford came in at least once a month. While the supernaturals had always coexisted with humans, there was a select group of supernaturals that feared humans. To hear them tell it, they weren't afraid of humans, they just didn't trust them. Mr. Crawford was one of those supernaturals, a werewolf with a chip on his shoulder. "There's a human lurking in my woods." "No, there isn't, Mr. Crawford," Ashley quipped. "How do you know?" "I've checked out your place several times before. You're so far off the road that a tracker would have a hard time finding you, much less a human. You have nothing to worry about." "They want to do testing on me. Why don't you understand that?" "Why do you think that?" "I've heard them talking. Humans talk about wolves all the time, and they put them in cages for people to stare at." "Seriously? How old are you?" "Just turned 235. "And you've never met a real wolf?" "What are you talking about? I am a real wolf." "No, you're a werewolf. Lycanthrope, shapeshifter, whatever you want to call it. A real wolf is a distant cousin, like a dog. They don't shift into human form. They are just a wolf. They live in the wild and will eat anything and everything they can catch. Those are the wolves you hear humans talking about." "I don't believe you. They're after me. They even try to trick me with wolf calls." "Those are probably actual wolves living in the woods behind your house." Nope, it's humans. They need to be taken care of." "Sir, humans aren't the problem. You are. Go to the zoo and get an education. Until you learn how to be a decent human, which you are in the present, I don't want to see you in my office. But this is your job. No, my job is to take care of rogue supernaturals that pose a threat to humans and other creatures. I don't have to deal with ill-informed idiots like yourself. Mr. Crawford stood in a huff, shaking the last bit of dirt off his shoes. With a swing of his arm he knocked his chair across the room, leaving a crack in the wall. Ashley stood with her hand readied on the gun strapped to her waist. The distinctive click of the hammer sliding into place echoed in the dim office. Crawford's eyes blared fear as he struggled to compose himself. He eased back to the door, bumping into the wall, before fumbling with the doorknob. He ran out of the open door and didn't stop until he reached the elevator. Ashley sat back down, uncocking the gun. She took her cell phone out of the desk drawer. The screen lit up. No messages. Pushing her chair back, she stood and stretched her back. She shook her head, sending her hair bouncing behind her shoulders. Her eyes glittered as the dropping sun flashed through the windows. Her lips were painted blood-wet red, and her face didn't show any of her soon-to-be 32 years. She wore a red silk V-neck tank top. It hung tightly against her ample breasts and flowed down just to the top of her hips. Her black jeans showed off her perfectly shaped butt and legs, and all that was on her feet at the moment were a pair of red socks. She hated having to wear shoes, so she would kick them off whenever she had the chance. That was the first one. Here's the second one. This is Chapter 6, Scene 1. Elizabeth's Miata was parked in Ashley's driveway, and a soft bumping was emanating from the house. A rumbling from down the street grew louder as it approached the house. Esteban's truck pulled in beside the Miata. Noticing the girliness of the car, Esteban frowned. I didn't expect her to drive something so pink, Esteban thought to himself. Esteban jumped out of the truck and grabbed his luggage out of bed. He glanced around the yard, taking in the property. He glided up to the door and paused briefly before knocking. He waited, listening for the sound of approaching feet. Nothing but the thump, thump, thump of the music. He knocked again, harder. He waited. Nothing. Sighing, he banged on the door this time. The music quieted, and the tip-tap of high heels approached the door. "Why are you knocking on your own door?" asked Liz, swinging the door open. "Because it's not my door. Are you Ashley?" "No, I'm her friend. Who are you?" she replied, trying to make herself appear bigger. Esteban projected a large shadow over Liz, as her own shadow disappeared under his. Liz looked like a chihuahua trying to fight a pit bull. "I'm Esteban. Alexa sent me down here to shadow Ashley." "Then why aren't you at her office?" "I was told to come here. I'm staying with her." Likely excuse. "Do you live here? You would like that, wouldn't you?" "Pardon?" "Listen here, mister. I am not easily scared. I work in the fashion business, and that's as scary as it gets." "You must be Liz. Alexis warned me about you." "I don't know how you know my name, but I just told you. Don't interrupt me, buddy boy. I know karate." "I'm sure you do," Esteban snickered. Had Esteban known Liz, he would have known better than to laugh at her, even if he didn't mean anything by it. Liz growled and took a step forward. Esteban scooted back, more afraid of her than he should be. Liz gave an evil grin. Then, Roundhouse kicked him in the head. She had kicked off her shoes at some point, and they laid haphazardly on the porch. When her foot made contact with his temple, time froze. Esteban stood there with the foot planted on his head, from a woman that was at least a foot shorter than him. Then, as he slowly realized what happened, he felt the tingling in his head. His eyes watered, and slowly he stumbled off the porch, landing on his butt on the walkway. Liz stepped on the first step and looked down at him. "Don't ever laugh at me again." Ashley had just swerved into the driveway when Liz's foot connected with Esteban's head. After slamming the car into park, she ran over to control Liz. When she saw Esteban lying on the ground, she had to hold back a laugh. Reaching her hand down, she helped Esteban to his feet. "You shouldn't have laughed at her," Ashley stated with a grin. "I think I figured that out," Esteban said, rubbing his head. "So you know him?" asked Liz. "I don't know him yet, but I did know he was coming. I tried to tell you that when you called, but you hung up on me. Help me get the groceries in and I'll explain, okay?" "All right," Liz said, skipping over to the truck. All three of them grabbed a handful of bags and followed Liz into the house. Once everything was put away, Ashley set them down for a talk, hoping to smooth things out. Can't believe you got taken out by a woman half your size, huh? Teased Liz. You just caught me off guard. Yeah, right. Trust me, if I was expecting you to attack me, you wouldn't have gotten that kick in. Oh, sure, just 'cause. Stop it. I don't want to hear you bugging him anymore, Liz. He is new here, and I don't want you to scare him off. Mean? Whined Liz. Well, you're kind of an acquired taste, and for somebody that just met you, you can be quite overpowering. Now apologize to him. No, I was protecting you in your house. You wouldn't have had to if you hadn't hung up on me earlier, Ashley spat through gritted teeth. Liz stood and crossed over to Ashley. Do you want me to kick you too? 'Cause I will. I was just trying to help you. I understand you thought you were helping, but I have told you 1,000,000 times to not hang up a phone when you get done talking. That doesn't mean the other person is. It's just common courtesy. I didn't come over here to get yelled at. I wanted to hang out with my friend. And Esteban didn't want to come here to get beat up by you. He came here to work with me. Now apologize, Ashley whispered in Liz's face. No. Easy now. I don't want to break up a friendship. She doesn't have to apologize if she doesn't want to. It's okay. She was protecting a friend, Esteban said, trying to squeeze between the girls. See, the wimp doesn't mean apology, mocked Liz. Ashley balled up her hands into tight fists. She despised Liz when she acted out. This only happened when she went hog wild on sweet foods. Something about sweets turned her into a royal pain in the ass. Her manners would disappear, and she would start pushing people around, being completely rude to people that didn't deserve it. Ashley had always tried to keep things that caused her to go crazy under lock and key, but she must have found a stash somewhere while she was alone. Liz, where did you find the candy? I don't know what you're talking about, Liz sniffed. You only act like an ass when you have eaten candy. That is so insulting. I hope you know. I'm not going to stay here if all you're going to do is be mean to me. Liz grabbed up her things in a huff and stormed out of the house. Ashley didn't bother going after her. She knew when Liz was like this, it was easier to let her crash someplace else. She'd come around in a few hours. Ashley flopped down in a purple chair with a sigh. Esteban sat down on the couch looking stunned and very, very confused. Right, here's the last one. I know this video is long, but hang with me. Chapter 18. September 21st, 2010, Mexico. Joe and I were in Mexico. We had been tracking Adam and Eve for a year before we had them trapped. It was noon when we started to scale the walls. The midday sun beat down on them. Joe ran up the rough stone wall. Perched on top, he eyed the area below. An army of the dead marched. Ashley waited, a large black bag in one hand and a gun slinged over her shoulder. Toss up the bag, Joe yelled down. Ashley took a step back and tossed the bag to him. Joe grabbed the bag sitting on the wall. He reached in, pulling out a small black ball. Come on, Joe said, motioning for Ashley. As she made her way up the wall, Joe tossed down the ball. The ball exploded as it hit the ground, sending up a blue cloud of smoke. The army of dead that had been in the area of the explosion dropped dead. Joe tossed another ball down, killing another section of the army. How many more do you think they have hidden inside? Ashley asked. I'm thinking this is all they have. Why? They should know that we would be able to make it through these. That leaves them completely open once we make it in. I'm sure they have something else up their sleeves. Start tossing so we can continue. Ashley grabbed a ball in each hand, throwing them into another crowd of the dead. Adam and Eve's specialty was necromancy. All wizards and some other supernaturals could raise the dead. Most only used the power for good, to find out a secret the person had died with or to solve a murder. Those sorts of things. But the Manoses raised them for an army. They also had their own personal set of dead men to protect them. Once raised, the dead would do whatever they were told, and there was no way of fighting them off. They were already dead. Fortunately for Ashley and Joe, they knew the one thing that would kill them and the one person in the area that could make them. They had met up with a local witch earlier that day. She had made them several dozen death bombs. They worked by reversing the spell that was used to raise them. If somebody that was living walked through when detonated, they wouldn't be affected except for a bad headache for a day or two. They were working as they should. Not even half had been used and the dead army was dead again. Inside, the castle had been transformed into a wizard hideout. Shelves house thousands of different plants and ingredients used for their concoctions. Cauldrons lined the wall, each holding a different colored liquid, some smoking, some boiling, and some smelled of rotten eggs. Stairs led up to a platform that overlooked their lab. Adam paced past the window. Through the window he could see Joe and Ashley creep closer. Eve sat in a dirty gray chair staring outside. "What are we going to do?" Eve asked. "I don't know. They've gotten closer than I thought they would." "Yeah? What happened to your foolproof plan?" "Our army isn't supposed to be able to be killed by anybody else but us," she said, rising. "That's not completely true. There is one thing that will undo our work, and they found it. We have to find a way out of here. If we walk out that door, we walk right into them. Because of your brilliant plan, we have no back way out of this place." Adam had figured if he blocked off all ways in and out of the castle except for one, it would keep people from being able to sneak in. While it did work as such, he hadn't figured on being trapped inside with one way out. He was wishing now he had listened to his wife. Eve marched up to Adam, pushing a long nail into his chest. "If something happens to me or Jeremy, it is all your fault. You better make us a way out of here. We've tried to kill those two, but they're too stupid to die." "What about the bomb?" "It can't be detonated yet. If we do it now, we'll all die." Jeremy bounded up the steps towards his parents, slowing when he noticed their state. Turning to her son, Eve smiled, reaching out a hand. Jeremy took her hand as she wrapped him in a hug, kissing him on the cheek. "What's going on?" Jeremy asked. "Nothing, sweetie," Eve replied, glaring back at Adam. Adam walked over to a long bottle sitting on a table. The bottle housed a shiny metallic liquid. It shimmered in the light as Adam walked it to Jeremy. "Drink this," Adam barked, handing Jeremy the bottle. "Why?" "Because your mother wants you to." "Honey, your father and I have run into a bit of trouble. Seeing as there is only one way out of this hellhole, this potion will help you get out undetected." "Why don't you make more for you and Dad?" "We don't have enough ingredients. You take this and leave. We'll come to find you once we get out of here." "No, I can help fight. I'm not a child anymore." Adam scoffed from behind Eve. "What your father means is you will always be our child, and we will do whatever it takes to protect you. Do as you're told and drink the potion." "I don't want to go," Jeremy whined. "Drink the damn potion and get the hell out of here. If you get hurt, I won't hear the end of it," Adam yelled. Eve shoved Adam over to the window. "You don't yell at my son," she whispered, pulling his face closer to hers. "He is just scared. You have coddled that boy for too long. He can't do anything for himself without your help. I will throw you out that window. Go apologize." Adam slouched back to Jeremy. "Sorry I yelled at you. Would you please drink the potion so your mother doesn't worry about you?" mumbled Adam. "I don't have a choice, do I?" "No, honey," Eve said. "Your bag is packed and waiting at the door. You will disappear as soon as you drink it. Grab your bag and head out the castle. It should wear off in a day." Jeremy sighed, popping the lid off the bottle. A strong putrid smell wafted up his nose. He frowned. He pinched his nose shut and gulped on the potion. The liquid burned his mouth and throat, causing him to cough. His body shimmered like the potion had, before blinking out of sight. "Is it working?" Jeremy asked. It is, sweetheart. Go get your bag and head out of here," Eve said. The sound of Jeremy's footsteps echoed through the castle as he took off towards the door. He grabbed his bag. The bag disappeared with his touch. The large door squeaked open. Jeremy's footsteps disappeared outside. The door slammed shut behind him. Eve glared at Adam. He took a step back from his wife. She crossed to the window, watching Ashley and Joe. Jeremy snuck around the castle, peeking around the corner to see Ashley and Joe land inside the grounds. All Jeremy wanted to do was attack them, but his parents had told him to leave. He had no clue how to kill the infiltrators. He didn't even know what they were. His parents had taught him about many different supernaturals and their weaknesses, but they never told him what to do about people who were trying to kill them. They mostly talked about their plan of taking over the world. He opened his bag to see what his parents had given him. All he found was a blueprint for something. He couldn't make heads or tails of what it was supposed to be. A note fell out of the paper. Jeremy picked it up, reading, "Dear Jeremy, your father and I have been working on a project. These papers tell you how to recreate it if we don't make it out alive. Please take care of these. I can't say what it is in case somebody finds your bag. I promise you will learn in time what this is supposed to be. Get out of Mexico as quickly as possible. Love, your mother." That's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the passages and everything. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and check out my other sites that I have linked down in the description below. Thank you.